Here we are, Dan.
You bet.
As we have 0 people watching.
Well, that's perfect. Are we on air?
Yeah, we just went live.
Perfect.
So, well, welcome everybody to this week's version of Live with Lussetto, and as always, Dan Christensen of recent, light limited super extraordinaire. So we'll kind of just get started. We had a long week, and I'll tell you that as the season grinds on, I don't think anybody is very fresh at the moment. Everybody's dragging pretty hard. We had a weekend at the Randolph Nationals in Randolph, Iowa, and then on to the Nebraska State Fair Sunday. A couple of pretty good polls. Not everything was on our side weather-wise in Randolph, but I'll tell you, through a little perseverance, we made everything work. A little bit of a struggle, but we got through it.
Yeah.
So Dan, had you ever been to Randolph yet?
No, that was my first time.
That's first time for both of us. I'll tell you what, minus the soggy conditions, that's a heck of a neat facility that borders up along the park, cornfield on at least 2.5 sides, super grass. The only issue was we pulled the truck in there, and I think we sank at minimum 6 inches. Probably I've been pulled out of the pits. I've never been pulled into the pits.
Yeah, and that we were.
Yes. Yep. And as far as classes and everything was pretty normal. We've had a little attrition through the season. We were missing a few of the Warman crew and a few other people. But what was pretty cool about that pull there in Randolph is we were near some new people, and we had a fair number of new pullers show up, which we were thrilled about. Yeah,
we really did.
I wish I could remember names. I'm going to have to get to the app, but man, we had one fantastic pro stock pickup that showed up there that had pulled in Wisner, Nebraska a couple weeks before with the national group. And, just like I said, just a lot of new iron. It's great to have the Englands come up with the light limited pros, and also Larson there from Crescent, Iowa with the John Deere that sounded like hadn't been out in a couple of years. So it was good we had a good class of light limited pros there.
Yeah, we really did. And they put on a good show.
With that, it was good Jerry Dolan was out, and Andrew, they had a little bit of a rough go, but man, it was good to see those tractors again. And hopefully, I hope it was nothing serious.
Yeah, man, makes 2 of us. No, it was really good to see him again.
Yes.
Had a little more color to the class. And
yes. And that thing was an absolute driver's track.
Yeah.
There was a fair number of people that got humbled pretty good, including me. I took off, and it went south, east, but got off the groove. And if you got off of that high side of the track, you were in deep trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. You were on the brakes pretty hard.
Yeah. Well, I didn't need the brakes. It was the track just sucked me in, and it was over with. But yeah, we'll run through some results here. I'll get on the app and Street Mod 2-wheel drive. We had some of the, familiar faces: Casey Honnessy, Farmer's Daughter, #1, Madison Griff's #2, and Gail Steinbach with the Full Circle truck. Is kind of a neat story talking to them in the pits. And when I teched the truck, Gail had built that truck, I believe he said, in the early 90s. Campaigned it for a while, sold it, and then just recently bought it back. So it come back all the way around, and it was neat to see him back out there. It had a little rough go. He had trouble getting the sled moving. We had the Red Rock sled there, which is the first time we worked with him. And, through working on the track and a few things and him making some adjustments, we, took us a little bit, but we finally got them going as good as we could for the conditions.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't ideal at all.
Yeah, and I will say the one thing, this is not and I don't want this to say, the track wasn't good. No, it's not a knock on the people at Randolph. They worked their butts off.
Oh, yeah.
To even get it to where we had a pull. And, I mean, they went above and beyond and did a heck of a job the hardest thing for me was to get there town of maybe, what, 200 people. And we had a heck of a crowd for one of our small events. And, you know, it was in question. And, man, the last thing I wanted to do was drive that far and, you know, leave with a disappointed crowd. So, you know, we all just kind of kept pushing through and, you know, got through to where we put on a decent show.
Oh, yeah. They did the best they could for having inch 20, 12 hours before the show, you know. I mean,
yes, and already fairly saturated ground.
Yeah. No, they
sure.
They did all they could do and more, and did a damn good job at it.
Yes. And we'll move on to the classic mods. And I'll tell you, this was interesting. This ended up being the first class of the night. We went with them with the tractor tires that got to it, the track, or they'll survive in a little worse conditions than what the small tire, like 2-wheel drive pickups and some of those. And it was interesting. I should go back and see who was first hooked, because it wasn't kind to him. Bob Pommier ended up number 6, and some guys, they kind of just plodded along. Chad Adams was 7th with the number 2 hook. Number 3 hook was Derek Fleshner, which is a top running tractor, ended up 8th. And then along comes William Pfister, one piece at a time, hugged that high side and just went for a ride out to 337. And then
he did his homework. It
was follow the leader after that. Because you look at Dave Priest was number 2, and he was hooked right after that, and everybody just started following along. And it kind of was the mantra for the night. After that, it was everybody tried staying there, but William was the first guy that found it.
Yep.
So, but yeah, William Pfister was first, one piece at a time. Little Ford with the Heartbeat, Dave Priest, number 2. Byron Pfister, 1468, number 3. Darren Priest, Rudolph, number 4. Bob Pommier, Little Red, number 5. Bob Pommier, Formal M, number 6. And then Chad Adams, 7, and Derek Fleshner, 8. Okay, we're fine. Okay, and then we had 7 Pro Stock pickups, which was pretty awesome. Chris Boakes about wore the track out. First hook, and they reset the sled, and I'm not sure what all happened. I was off getting ready to pull at the time, but the 3rd hook down the track for him, he ended up winning the class at 322. 2nd was Chris Slaughter there from Glenwood, and he was the truck I mentioned earlier that come in really nice square body Chevy. That, I mean, that's a solid competitor from just up the road. We were thrilled to see him show up there. And then Jeff Whining was there with the Patriot Wagon Dodge that just kind of got out a couple hooks ago, and that thing is going to be a pretty salty truck.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
4th was Paula Boots, Bohemian Outlaw. 5th, Clint Smeal. 6th, Matt Hamada, and rounded out Bronson Gibbons at Razzmatazz, number 7. 3200 Superfield. And this is just a classic example of what happened in the track. Adam Serve goes 337. Number 2 is Mark Reardon, and with a really good tractor. But once he got out of the groove, it was piling dirt, and it just, I mean, it sucked him in at 254. So you can see how important that was, staying in that groove on that track. It was,
it was crucial.
Either you're there or you weren't.
Yep.
We moved on to Light Limited Super, where Dan Christensen laid down one heck of a nice run at 310. Ed Walker had a very nice pass with his little 666 blue ribbon binder. Number 3 was Old Biddy with my mom's tractor there at 215 feet, which sucked. But Jerry Dolan with the little 180 alcohol burn, 180 proof. He had some issues, ended up 4th. 5th was Pain in the Alice, Andrew Dolan, who literally opened up the intercooler like a can of tuna.
Yeah.
So I do believe they're looking for a little stronger intercooler at the moment. And then Scott Walker, I think what he told me, he burned 2 gallons per foot. He was having some issue and cranked through 5 gallons of alcohol in 9 feet. So
that's crazy.
It's too bad, because he, that tractor's real close to running. I hope he keeps efforting with that. He had a very nice run early on at Humboldt. I'd like to hope, I know he'll keep working on it. He may have been a little disgruntled, but it's hard not to be when you're struggling.
Oh yeah.
Like that. So.
Yep.
Naturally aspirated two-wheel drive. We've had a little attrition in this class. Loy Warman has been down a couple trucks out of the 4 he generally brings, but Loy stuck this thing on the high side, and one had a Dan Christensen style run. Dang near parked it in the grass.
Yeah.
The Mean Farmer, the Facebook famous yellow truck that puked the grill and everything else at Rock Valley. And then second was Larry Renner with Running Wild. And I'll tell you, I was flagging for that deal, and you saw him coming down with a head of steam, and about 250 got out of the groove, and it was just like a and it was stuck.
Yep.
And then third was Mama's Nightmare, Laura Griff's. 3.0 diesel truck. It was nice to see some trucks there. There was a couple Iowa trucks. I guess one Iowa truck. But first was John Casper with Mad Max. Bean Burner Dodge was second. And Scrap Iron was third.
It was good to see the old Bean Burner out, you know.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that for a day or two.
Yeah.
And then the light limited pro stock, Brent England. This was quite a deal. He come out first hook, laid down a respectable pass, but got out of the groove a little bit, and he turned it down. Come back, kind of was interesting to see what happened.
Yeah.
I thought it might have been a mistake, but he come back and laid down a hell of a pass the second time for the win. Beat what I believe is his dad, all jacked up at Kent, England. And then third was Bucked Up, Larry Larson from Crescent, Iowa. Fourth was this knothead. Exactly. He got out of the groove a little bit the other way. He was on a heck of a pass and just couldn't quite keep it where he wanted. But
I see he took my advice at the state fair.
I was going to say he didn't get a haircut. Leaned around, see the hood with the front end up.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but, you know, just overall at Randolph, I'd heard a lot of stories from, you know, from Chris and Scott and a bunch of the guys. And, you know, that thing lived up to all the expectations of what they'd said. And I would, you know, I would love to get out there when they didn't have Mother Nature working against them. That could be, I mean, it was a fun pull, even with what struggles we had.
Yeah.
And
it reminded me a lot of a Ashton style pull, you know, with the crowd.
Bet. Some of that old school. And I'll tell you what, that's something, you know, with me from just growing up pulling out west, we pull in so many horse arenas and fairgrounds and stuff. It is so cool to get into some of these. Like this here was literally bordered some people's lawns on one side. We had City Park that was a beautiful park.
Yeah.
And then it's in a corner of a cornfield of Chris Manada's uncle or something, I believe. And I mean, it was just a very, very neat small town setting.
Yep.
And you could tell it was the event in town for the night, you know, because there was all kinds of people. The beer garden was active and, you know, actually some really great fans.
Yeah. Beer garden was really active.
Yeah. I was too busy to notice a lot of it.
Them people at starting line were having a great time.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. So the only bad thing is that was, well, for me especially, that was a long darn trip. I mean, we rolled out at 5 o'clock in the morning from Bridgeport, got in there and got out of there and drove back, shoot it. We ended up getting into Waverly, Nebraska about 2:30 or so in the morning, or maybe, I don't know. It was late.
Yeah.
Because the old Nebraska State Fair was pretty early the next morning, or it seemed like it. I mean, it didn't start till 5, but it just is all a little quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And the Nebraska State Fair, that's a little different pull. It's not full-blown Heartland. It's not full-blown Outlaw National Series. We tag team on that, so we had a budget to hit, and we brought in 4 classes of Heartland, and then we brought in, I believe, 5 classes on the national side. Mm-hmm. And it's 2-track, you know, 2-sled deal, man, all the trimmings, you know, typical state fair, you know, there's all kinds of stuff. And I don't know if this is a disappointment or what, I don't understand, but they charge a hell of a lot of money to get into that pull. I think it's $28 plus the gate entry of another like 10 or 12 or something. And I mean, to see the crowd that they had with that being said was pretty awesome.
Yep.
because they, they did pretty well again. On our side of the deal, it's just the 4 classes. We had the 3200 super fields, classic mods, pro stock pickups, and the light limited supers. We were down a couple light limited supers. Dolan's broke 2 of them the night before there, and it was nice to see Dave Todd head out from out west. That was another solid competitor there, and Scott Walker. I don't know if you heard all the issues he had. I mean, the pulling tractor not running was one thing, but good old Scott Walker got on the city council or whatever, or village board or whatever they call it in Tarkio, Missouri, and they had a water main break that they had the main highway tore up. I think he said 12 foot deep.
Oh, wow.
And they were without water for like a day and a half. And his wife, Jessica, works in the water or the billing department. And I'm telling you, the last I saw on Facebook, she worked like 20 hours straight. And, Scott rolled out of there. I don't know if that was a good thing or bad thing. I did ask him today if he threw his hat in the door before he come back home. But he's still talking, so he must have went over pretty well. Good enough, but
yeah, I know he said he was going to hand out bottled water that day. So
they literally got, I think, and I don't remember if it was Casey's or one of the quick stop type deals. They brought in like a truckload of bottled water, and Scott was out handing it out, because that's the one thing in those situations that a lot of people don't think of, but there's elderly and people that, can't get out and stuff like that. They were pretty dependent on, those services. And that's, why would love that. Scott State Fair, there's some things a little bigger and pulling once in a while.
Yep.
So
good dude.
We will, I'll cruise through some results for Grand Island. 3200 super field. Usual tough tractor on the national side. Gary Kavanaugh comes around with the win with the red edge too. It was good to see Jason Rinke. That's another pretty tough tractor out of Columbus, Nebraska, Eckener's Express. And he was right up, pretty tight competition there, 314 to Rinke at 312.94. Janelle Hoagland there from Cheyenne was out, which was cool to see, at 310. And then Mark Reardon, Rum Runner, at 305. Adam Serve, 299. And then one of our West competitors, Lauren Hotzen, a little bit of red. So good class of 6 there. Light limited super stock. Dave Todd come away with the win at 309.06. Dan was in an unusual second spot there at 298. And you said you got a little duck walk going, and got a little rough.
I just couldn't get out of it. I even got out of the throttle a couple of times trying to straighten it up, and I never could get out of it.
It just wasn't having it, huh?
No, it did not like it. Yeah. And I got in my own head beforehand, so I don't think that matters any either.
Yeah, that happens. And then old Biddy ended up 289.04, and it's cool to see Brandy Douglas get on the Blueberry Wine again. She a little Ford Light Limited Super. She drove it for the first time at St. Paul, and if anybody's ever driven the turbocharged stuff, it's just you can't explain it until the first time you sit on it, because just getting them out of the hole and getting the turbo lit and all that stuff, it's just a different animal. And it took her a couple tries at St. Paul, and she barely got it lit, but here she come off, she damn near like an old pro. She did a damn good job. It just got a little crooked on her at 210, but she keeps on this trajectory. By the next pole, she's going to be making it hard on us.
Oh yeah, she's getting it figured out.
Yes, absolutely. Pro stock 4x4, 8 competitors. Brian Rumbeck with the twister come out on top. Clint Smeal, and I'll tell you what, I'll have to admit I didn't watch this class, but that was a dang good finish for Clint. He must have had a heck of a good run. 301. Jeff Winings went down there screaming. They were going to have to find some gears in that truck or some traction. 300 even. Screaming Bohemian Chris Boats. He did have a little trouble. He puked some water, like maybe a head gasket or something, I heard later on. 5th was Matt Hamada with Burn It Down. 6th was Paula Boots with Bohemian Outlaw. 7th was Bronson Gibbons. And then we had one of our friends from out in Colorado that hooks with the NSPA group come out, Greg Dardanis with the Hog. And it looked like he might have been a victim of the tall hitch and good track. I think he might have broken axle or something. I have not talked to him since before the poll, but it was good to see him out there too.
Yeah.
Classic mod. Well, Derek Fleshner rebounded pretty well from the night before there. He goes from number 1, Byron Pfister on 1468, number 2, Bob Palmiere, Little Red 3, Bob Palmiere Farmall M 4, William Pfister 5, Chad Adams 6, Darren Priest with Rudolph 7, rumor has it Sharon Cooley 8, and then number 9 was Little Ford with Heartbeat, Dave Priest. But it was kind of neat to see that mixed show. It's again, that's part of the reason that we did this deal with Outlaw too. This allows us to co-sanction and work together pretty seamless. In fact, as it worked out, a lot of us didn't even have to work. It was just kind of like we fit in fairly seamless with the Outlaw National Group and just kind of both did our things. Probably a few things I'd like to see streamlined for next year, and this is something brought up by Adam Serve. I think it'd be nice to get some stuff with the app working a little better, because I know one thing that was a pain is if you started looking at the app, I'd have to switch over sides to see who was in order, because we didn't pull like just Heartland on one side or this. We kind of mixed things around to try to keep tractors and trucks on the track at the, so we didn't have tractor and tractor together and just try to have a nice mixture and keep the numbers the same, which, it worked out nice, but it was a little rough figuring out the order when we were bouncing back from app side to app side. So that's something we'll talk about this winter. So
yeah, it'd be nice to put that all on one side, so guys not hopping back and forth.
Yeah. No, and boy, Dan, you got anything else about the State Fair or Randolph?
Not really. Got a big trip ahead of you though this week.
Yes, that is. We're kind of finishing up the east part of the season. We'll be heading to Guthrie Center, Iowa, and this is a pull I'm really looking forward to. It's probably on the edge of our area that we usually work, as it's probably 50 miles west of Des Moines, so it's going to be out there a little bit. We're bringing every class that Heartland East does except for the super fields, and we kind of dropped that out of there because we really don't have any competitors in the area. And what is going to be neat, though, is we're working on an exhibition class of Outlaw 5-inch Pro Stocks. So we got, and I haven't talked to the guys this week. We had 2 guys that were out at Rantoul, Illinois, kind of dependent on them surviving the weekend. But, I'm pretty confident they probably did. But Dave Yarrick's been helping us try to get some guys lined up, and we're talking like we should have at least 3 there, as long as there wasn't any carnage over the weekend. So that'll be a neat addition to our Heartland program.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, and one other one I'm looking forward to is David Sean Reed has got a pickup there. It's probably one of the closest pulls he'll have. He was up at Haywarden with us, and we'll be curious to see how progress he's made on that 2-wheel drive truck. And fortunately, he doesn't have his light limited super done, but next year.
Yeah, that's too bad. Be interesting to see him out. And
the other thing, I understand this is quite a fair. The head guy I was visiting with him last week. He said they had 140 campers parked on the campground already.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of, I've been told a lot of stuff. I heard they have a heck of a music festival called the River Ruckus or something there. So it sounds like it's quite a fairgrounds. I'm really looking forward to that show. So
yeah, that will be interesting.
The trip, like you said. It's going to be 500 miles for me, give or take a little bit. So it's enough.
Yeah. That'll be it.
So yeah, I don't know. One other thing that I'm excited about, Dan probably wasn't maybe ready to mention this, but Dan and Dave both are going to take a little trip and go hook up in, is it Ridgeland, Wisconsin?
Jim Falls in Ridgeland, Wisconsin.
Jim Falls. So you'll be able to hit 2 pulls up in Wisconsin.
Yep.
I'm super excited. I really love seeing our guys get out, and I don't know what you want to say, but kind of spread the goodwill a little bit, but also get out and meet new people. We had a heck of a fun time with You have to tell me his name is Ruff. Is that the kid's last name? Right?
Devin Roth.
Evan.
Devin.
Yep. He's apparently going to college down in Kansas for like automobile restoration college, and he happened to show up at one of our polls in Hays, Kansas, and it was pretty darn cool because I don't know if I wouldn't say it's just the light limited super guys, but most of our pullers are all the same. I don't care where you're from, the West Coast, East Coast, to anywhere in between. And he ventured in there and just like he was at home.
Oh yeah,
and it was great to talk about the differences in what's going on out here versus WTPA, the NTPA group there in Wisconsin. And, I think it's going to be great to see you guys go up there and be a little bit of a measuring stick for you guys, and be honest with you, for them too, because, it's always fun to compete against new people and get outside the little pond.
Yeah. And they've been super great staying in touch with us and trying to help us get cages and stuff teched and everything lined up.
Yeah, I'll admit I kind of called out the NTPA guy, but it's good to see them. They're going to meet you guys along. Are they just going to meet you along the road someplace and tech your cage?
Going to meet us at a truck stop just south of Minneapolis. So do it right there in the trailer. So
yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad to see that finally worked out, because that was kind of that just about wrecked the whole thing. So
yeah, yep. No, it'll be good. New faces, and maybe we can get them down here to hook with us. If we get a 2-day show or something down here, they can hook a couple days with us and kind of get a bridge between us so we can all play together, And it'll be interesting to see where we stand with the rest of them.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you what, I got to apologize here. I totally dropped the ball. I do rely on my daughter Jazz a hell of a lot, and I never switched on the comments. But look at this. There's a whole hell of a lot of comments. I have just ignored everybody a lot here.
Yeah. I'd like to tell Andrew Meister, thank you.
Yeah, that's Chris. Chris Vanette, I can't drive any faster. Holy cow, man. There's laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna hate missing a show there in Guthrie Center, especially for that being the first year we're there. I really would have liked to hook there. So
absolutely. But while I agree with that, and we'll be sad to not see you be there, the second part is we can hold the fort down while you're gone, and where you're going is a great, that's neat,
Yeah. I've always wanted to go pull with those guys and watch them a lot. So it'll be fun to go up there and put some faces with the tractors that I've been watching, and I know Dave's been watching. I know you watch those guys up there too. So,
well, my favorite story with that deal at Hays with Devin is he walked up with that, gosh darn
Mohawk,
it, Mohawk. He walked up with that shirt, and I was like, man, where the heck did you get that? I've heard of that. I know that tractor. And he's like, what? That's ours. I'll be damned. That I didn't expect, but that's just, we follow that stuff, and that's, I think sometimes, that's a great part about this, the Facebook and the internet stuff and everything that's going on is it's really connected us to where we do pay attention to what's going on elsewhere. We get outside of our little bubble,
Yeah. And tractor pulling's a lot smaller community than you think.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So.
Yep. Congratulations in order, Andy. I can't say the rest of it. That's on.
Only him.
Yeah.
And Gerald. Yeah. Thank you, Gerald.
This Gerald guy, one day I'm going to get him on the show. It may take a roofie to do it, but he's scared.
I'll tie him in the chair, force him to do it. But
this might be good news. These guys coming to Guthrie, go to the center of town, stoplight, turn, go west to the fair edge of town. Okay, and I need to revisit this with my contact from the fair, but it seems like you go up 25 to 44 and go west and use the north entrance, but that's off of memory, and I've been tired, so hopefully I remember that quite right. That stay tuned on that one. Well, holy cow, look at this. I think Jerome could have a girlfriend. He could be our Ron Stone.
Yeah, she wasn't a
There's two,
scammer.
there's two of them.
Yeah, Jerome, take a chance. Take a chance. Columbus did.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's this is neat. This David Sean Reed, he's right there at Jefferson, Iowa, not too far away from this Guthrie, and he's filled me in on a lot about it. And it sounds like it's been a long time pull. They've bounced around in a few associations. They will also have the West, I don't know if it's Western Iowa or West Central Iowa, they'll have some farm tractors, a little bit like what we had at Haywarden. And then they will pull street pickups just like Humboldt afterwards. So
really
sounds like things could get a little Western after we get done there. But
yeah, that could be a good show.
Sounds like a good, yeah. I'm looking for, I love some of that stuff.
Yep.
And Kevin, it's not quite like going to Arizona because if that's even longer.
Yeah.
Worth the trip, but longer.
Yep.
So
we will be there.
Yeah. And his off-season months from the Wayne County Fair, which I understand went like gangbusters. We got to get this guy working on some more Arizona stuff for us because he's real close to the Arizona State Fair, which sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that it's getting popular down there. I mean, the few times
it's getting better. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. The crowds are just unreal.
Yeah. Oh, and Bronson, we gotta get some shocks or what. I'd like to know, did something break at the state fair? Because it looked like some of the problems may have resurfaced. And did you hear anything?
No, I didn't hear anything.
I didn't get to see him run because things were mixed up, and we had two tractors we were pulling because Zach hooked in the light limited pro class, which was also it was a national class, but we kind of had our hands full there.
Yeah. Yeah, I never got to see what happened. I know he broke a shock mount or whatever.
Yeah, and it sounds like it might have happened on the trip over.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard something. I know him and his dad Mark were looking for a welder after the show there in
Randolph.
Oh goodness, it's been a long week. Leave it to Jerome. Jerome's been good help. Jerome surfaced, I think, at Ashton and helped us hook and unhook, and maybe Albion. And from then on, he started flagging, and it's been good to have him around.
Yep, big.
I'll tell you the crazy part about Jerome is you never know where that cat's gonna pop up, man.
Yeah.
We crashed the night on the way from Imperial on the way to Wisner, and 3 hours of sleep in, and I'm grabbing about three things at the Walmart in Grand Island where we slept. And next thing you know, I run into him at like 7:30 in the morning at Walmart. It's like that guy's everywhere.
Yeah. Really?
Got to help me out on that one.
I don't know.
We might find out.
Yeah. Did he inherit one?
No. Yeah. I got to ask Andrew Dolan here have we made any progress on sealing up the pressure pipes on the AC? And I'm not going to lie, I love seeing that tractor. Many moons ago, that used to live here with me.
That's what I heard. I didn't realize that.
Well, the thing that probably the nearest and dearest thing to me is I had some old original dealer stickers. My wife's grandpa ran the Alice dealer in Elgin, Nebraska.
Oh, really?
Yep. And I've got two of the dealer stickers on the old 8010 there, and they're still hanging out there.
I'll be darned. Huh,
and the other, cool. I will tell you, I got to catch up with him too. Even if I stop by, I got a request. I got to go buy a shirt. I got a little girl that wants a Pain in the Alice shirt, so he's got me right where he wants me.
Oh, hired driver. Still kind of leaving us out there hanging, though.
Yeah, we're just
kind of driving for.
Yeah, and did you get to see the carnage on Andrew Dolan's intercooler?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
No, I didn't. I got told about it, but yeah, opened it right up.
Yeah. Oh shoot, I don't know about the free for the shirt, man. It's for my daughters, not for me. Okay, let's see. It's battling Bounce and Grand Island. We expect it broken the trailer on the wear there. Yeah, Bronson did he go? Did you guys go home and find a welder? What did you have to do? Because I know that they're still a ways away. Because where's Riverdale from Grand Island?
Northwest of Kearney.
It's north. Oh, so they were still a ways away from home.
Yeah, I think somebody brought them one of Mark's welders, I believe, because.
Oh, okay.
Because I called Dave and Todd, and he had his welder with him, and kind of had that lined up as a backup if he needed.
Oh, really?
Mark said that. Yeah, Mark said they had somebody bringing a welder. So.
Well, that's good. That's typical Pullen family.
Yep, absolutely. So.
Oh, Brian Rumbeck. Okay. Well, that's kind of you, Andrew. I'd appreciate that.
It is. It is. Maybe I'll get some shirts one day I can give out.
You haven't got shirts yet?
No, we're holding off this year.
I have to get on the business manager. She'll be all over that.
Yeah. Oh, she's on it already. She's been on my butt about finding a picture or whatnot. I'm like, it's too late in the season. We'll worry about that in the off season.
Hey, the season's just, that's the other thing. Just for the rest of our Heartland season, we've got to reschedule in Mitchell, Nebraska, the 17th of September. So, that'll be our kind of wrapping our season up. And then a lot of us, there is a late hook into September. A lot of us will head down to the NSPA show south of us in Brush, Colorado. That's kind of been an annual pilgrimage. And then we've got about a month to prepare, and we will be heading south to Arizona again. If we have half as much fun as we did down there last year, that'll be a pretty good time.
That's a blast. Hopefully got a new face or two talked into going. We'll see if we're
working on it. Yeah,
let them out of the house.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
Yeah,
we're talking about some red tractors, or
yeah,
that'd be good.
Yeah, he said he's going quite a few times this year to some hooks, and it's about time he holds true to actually.
He lives up to what he actually says.
Yeah, it's getting kind of hard to believe the man. So we'll see if we get any action out of the guy.
Well, he can only blame his wife so many times, and then we're not going to buy that excuse anymore.
That's my theory. Sooner or later, she's got to get tired of him being in the house. So
maybe by November, that might be legit. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, no, looking forward to that. And I mean, anybody that's interested in wanting information about that or whatever, don't hesitate to give Greg or I a call. We can fill you in on what it's all about. And it
absolutely.
Is a great time
because it's a good time, laid back, and they just
Yep.
They take care of
the. Yep. Take care of the pullers. It's a Veterans Day deal. Are they having a parade, right, Greg? And want us to bring the tractors to the parade?
I think they are having, and this is a neat story. The guy, Rod Crawford, is the guy that really ramrods everything, but the guy behind the scene that really pushes is David Mink. And David Mink is a Vietnam veteran guy that was wounded pretty seriously in Vietnam, and a Marine, and you can tell through and through by the time you see his trailer that's wrapped with all the, very patriotic guy, and he's very proud of his service, and he wanted nothing more than to have this pull on Veterans Day.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. Now, we got one more thing we got to throw here. David Sean Reed wants to know, do they allow the 3.4-inch turbo there in WTPA?
They do.
They do.
Yep, they do.
But I understand there's quite a few of them that probably don't even run it, though, do they?
That I can't tell you. But, I talked to the NTPA tech yesterday, and he was wanting to know what I was running for a Charger, and life was good there. So I don't know. Can them guys run that 3.4 up there or not?
I think so. I'd visited with one of them a long time ago, and I don't remember if it was a Spiegelberg or one of the other guys. Spiegelberg actually come from in that area and pulled like up in that area before they moved up to the light super class or in NTPA quite a bit. But it sounded like it was kind of pushed from up above, but it sounded like most of the diesels, were more along the 3x4. But again, that was a couple of years ago, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure that they do allow it.
Well, yeah, because they follow NTPA rules. Oh, that's what David's asking. Yeah, I wish I had that bigger Charger on, but we'll make do with what I got.
You'll be all right.
We'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. Get a hold of me Saturday night, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just catch me before the toddy session starts.
The question here should be: is Gerald going to go?
Yeah, Gerald should go.
Yeah,
and yeah, my business manager is going.
She is planning on going to Arizona.
Yep, she is.
We're hoping, and I got to do a little cussing, discussing, but we might be able to live stream this event. It's maybe too early to talk about this stuff, but the kid that runs that Pulling Texas will be there, and he did live stream some of that last year. I'd love to get with him and see if we could tag team with some of our equipment that I think we could stream potentially to Beer Money rather than Outlaw. But, that's all stuff that we're going to talk about behind the scenes a little bit. But yeah, I think that would be a neat deal there.
Yep.
Jeez, this thing just has a life of its own, man.
Yes, Lila.
Yeah.
Will you prove it?
Yeah,
buddy.
And business manager chimes in.
You bet.
Yeah, and well, I'll tell you, we're about out of pulling stuff to talk about. But one other thing I want to get to is we are efforting at the moment to get our end of the year banquet. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about this, but we're not done pulling yet. But it won't be long, and we're going to have the banquet. That's going to be, it's all stuff we need to get to. Right now, we're working hard to try to get that for the first weekend of November, which I believe is the 4th. Is that Saturday, Jazzy? The 4th of November. So we're trying to get it in Kearney, but, it's a matter of trying to get stuff booked. But you might kind of pencil that date in because that's what we're going to be angling for. And that will be 2 weeks before the Outlaw National Banquet down in Missouri. So I'd really like to get some, get some of our business handled and, get prepared to head down, a bunch of us down to Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Is the information out yet for the national banquet?
I haven't seen it, but the dates and stuff are. So I haven't seen the, stuff to book and all that. One other thing I want to talk about, we might as well just throw it out here right now. As of right, as the way Heartland was set up, it's really me and Jazz and a few people just kind of ramrod things. We got Scott Walker, who was the president of Mid-America at the time. Some of that, but we're looking to kind of expand some of our leadership roles, and we're probably going to try to get a handful of like a board. And, we need to talk and get nominations and, discuss about who would be good people. And then it might be as much as class reps, or we might even combine a few classes. So we have, we have some classes that are similar enough that we could have a rep for 2 classes or something like that. But we want to get some good heady people that will, be able to handle the business and represent our deal well and keep an open mind and work for what's best for the overall group, as much as, we need an advocate for the class, but we need an advocate for the entire class, not certain pieces of it, or personal reasons. So
yeah,
we're going to talk through that and see what we can get done at the meeting and, and do just the general business of the meeting itself, just for anybody asking, talked to Kurt today and we were discussing the banquet, and what's nice to hear, he told me he didn't care where it was, he will be there.
Good.
So it's always nice to have the big chief,
Yep.
hanging out with us for a day just to kind of bounce stuff off of and just be part of our smaller group. So,
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't know, Dan, do you have much else?
Not really.
Looks like it's been quiet there in the office. I haven't heard one phone ring, or you got somebody else answer?
He's over here pretty good about grabbing the phone. He's doing a good job today.
You think I can stay in the office?
That's
Can I, please?
Yeah, you can stay now.
sound like Evan to be behind the scenes. Is he hanging out over there?
I told him to jump in, but he said no deal. So
No deal.
Where are you looking as far as the venue in Kearney then?
That is it Yonkin or Yonker? Giannis. Yeah.
Yep.
It's the same place that we have the Nebraska Fair Convention. We've been there. It's super nice. And to be honest with you, is there? I think it would be a nice place, and the nice part of it wasn't terribly expensive, because, that's one worry. And one of the reasons we went to a small town is, we're wary of the prices, and all this money that gets spent, money that doesn't get spent on us elsewhere. So,
yep.
Want to watch that.
Yep.
Is the bear safe?
Yeah, Bear's he's safe.
He's safe. Good to know.
Yeah.
We need to update his uniform.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
No, very good. Anything else going on, Dan?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, it looks good.
He's still alive. Well, he's still stuffed.
Yeah.
But yeah, exciting weekend of pulling. Finish up the east side. Got our last hook of the year for the west side in 2 weeks.
Yep. Yeah, Sunday afternoon in Mitchell.
Yep.
And Mitchell's always one of our favorite pulls. They pack a crowd in. I don't care if it's a Monday, Tuesday, it doesn't matter. Those people love pulling. One of our
they do.
Best active crowds we ever have. So really looking forward to that. I don't know, just kind of grinding on through the end of the season. It's one of these deals. I'm ready for 2 weekends at home or something. But like always, by the time we get into that second weekend, I'll be looking like, man, I wish I could go pull some more.
Yeah. I hear you. No, looking forward to it. Got a
question is, will Andrew be done with harvest by Veterans Day?
There's plenty of people that know how to run combines in that area. Come on, Meister, pipe up.
Yeah, what's Ryan do? He won't be working on pulling.
He can run the combine.
What's that?
He can run the combine.
He can run the combine. You can go pulling. There we go.
Yeah. And Dallas, come find me at Mitchell.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's good to see him. He come down and picked up his outlaw programs and a few things. And one other thing cool with Dallas, he mentioned he was one of the winners of one of the outlaw banners that was signed by all the winners.
Oh, good.
It's cool to see some of that stuff come out west too,
Yeah, no kidding.
Out in God's country.
Yeah. But no, find me, Dallas. I'd like to meet you. I don't think I've ever got to talk to you. So,
yep. No, that'd be great.
Yep.
So, well, we might kind of wrap up. I tell you, it's been a great season. Probably have a little more time and reflect on it a little later, because it's been an absolute grind. We knocked out, and part of this was some of the stuff we worked on the national series, but between Zach and I, we did 22 events in the last 60 days.
Yeah.
And that's
a bunch.
That's plenty for this guy. So
yeah, I think I'm at 19. I'm at 20.
And I told you I was going to go add up miles. I didn't even get close to looking at that yet. So
we'll do a year end for everybody.
We should do that. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, we should.
So, yep.
Nope.
So
that sounds good.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you guys. Be sure to check out the Outlaw TV. We've been knocking out shows pretty regular, and a couple more to go. Looking forward to it, and I sure appreciate it. Thank you, Dan, for coming on, and Evan for holding down that other chair out of sight there.
Yeah.
Hey, I do it all day long. Favorite place.
Yeah. And anybody interested on how Dave and I do up north, check out my Facebook page and my polling page, and we'll try and get the videos up there and keep everybody updated how that goes. So
I'll tell you what we should do is we should get, I'll visit with Jazz about getting you as a moderator type person or admin or something on the Outlaw Heartland Division page. Maybe you guys could go live or post some pictures, and
Yeah.
I'd like to see their app and all that stuff with live distances.
Yeah.
Just joking.
We can do that.
But yeah, get us some distances and get us some stuff, man. We'll be following you, and we wish you luck.
Yep. Well, thank you.
All right. Thank you,
I'm going
guys.
to pack my bag. We'll see ya.
Yep. Bye.